What's going on, Workforce? Brian here, and today we're talking about Phantasy Star Online 2. After, I think, what felt like an eon of trying to get into that game, I am now playing on the Japanese servers. Ship 2, if you care to join me. And I have to say that Phantasy Star Online 2 makes me feel like a frosted mini-wheat. I tweeted that out, and I tweeted that out for a reason, because if you ever have seen those old commercials, and perhaps I'm dating myself, with frosted mini wheats. It was always kind of like the kid in me loves the frosted side and the adult in me loves like the wheat so that it's good for my colon or something like that. And this is obviously the weirdest way to start out a video, so you're welcome. Hello, internet, and hit that subscribe button if you're joining us and you want more insane videos from Brian, just like this one. Smash snack. Anyway, but beyond Phantasy Star Online 2 in my experience, the reason why it makes me feel like a kid and an adult at the same time is it's actually, like, it makes me feel angry and happy at the same time. Because when I look at what's all happened just over 2019, it's easy to get caught up in the drama. It's easy to get caught up in the negative. It's easy to get caught up on all the BS that seems to be going around the industry. And when I step into Phantasy Star Online 2, and there's a couple caveats, right? It's easy to sit here and say, well, it is a game that's been developed and supported for, what, 5, 6, 7 years now, and 2012, I think, right? So it's easy to see that when you're coming into a game that's had a long life already ahead of it, that they've worked out the kinks, that there's a lot of content to play, and I just feel so in love with the content to play. I feel so in love with the drops, and some of the video footage that you're seeing is going to show me just getting a ton of rare drops, and I had no idea how to do that. I hadn't seen those happen really up till the point I was recording for the video game footage. So thanks, I guess, internet, thanks RNG Jesus. But what I'm saying here is that when playing Phantasy Star Online 2, a game that's been around for a while, it really makes me frustrated at games that are coming out. Like, how is it that we've learned these lessons from the past and have it so perfect? And nostalgia is definitely a hell of a drug, guys. Like, I am a huge Phantasy Star Online fan. I'm not going to say that it's for everybody, but I'm going to tell you right now, hands down, I am just head over heels having the best time with this game. And that's where the whole give and take of the frosted mini wheat comes into play, because why is it that Anthem sucks so bad? Why is it taken Destiny so long to kind of get it right? Why do we have to learn these lessons over and over again? Titanfall 2 with its lobby system, despite being an incredible game. And I'm just boggling my mind. Like, what is it that's happened over the last couple of years that has caused and led us into this world? But I don't really want to talk about that. And that's where the conflict comes in. I think maybe that's a deeper dive for another video. If this video gets like let's say something stupid like 1,000 likes, maybe we'll dive in and talk about that. But, or 1,000 dislikes. I don't care. I'll take 1,000 something. But the idea that I was sitting here playing Phantasy Star Online 2, and the fact that it's finally coming to the American audience on Xbox and PC with crossplay. And Phil Spencer, did say that he's like, it could come to PlayStation, it could come to Nintendo Switch, crossplay, cross-save, like all of that's going to be important. But the fact that's finally happening after all these years, I am so thrilled. So why jump in now and play? Because there's obviously no guarantee that my character is going to transfer over. I would highly expect that that's not the case. Well, I really love this game. And the reason why I hadn't gone and played it up to this point is that they always kind of said it was coming, and eventually got to the point where I don't think it's coming. And it was something like, well, if I can't play it, if it's got to jump all through these hoops, if I've got to do all these things to do it, it's going to be impossible, and it's just going to be frustrating, and I'm just going to get mad, because if it's an incredible game and I'm not going to ever have access to it, or I'm not going to be able to like really kind of commit to it, it's going to be really frustrating, especially the risk of getting kicked off the servers and things like that, back how it used to be. But thanks to like the Arc Slayer, and I'll include a link in the description below if you guys are interested in trying to install this and play it now while we wait for the spring for the official Western release. They've got a patcher, they've got it translated, and so my experience overall has been very, very positive while playing the game. And honestly, it's something that is just so beautiful to step in and dive into this world and remember what it feels like to be an actual RPG in an online world, right? Like, you got the subclass system. Oh my gosh, why can't I have that in 14? I know why I can't have it in 14. That's just based off of the fact. But it's like Like there's so many things. Like there's rankings on the different missions. There's scores. There's all of these little things that you can go and be doing. And again, maybe that's because I'm coming into this game and it's been around and developed for a while. But there's things that it's doing. The combat feels great. The weapon switching feels great. The ability to take like an NPC partner with me if I'm not partnering up with like humans is great because it makes it feels like they can balance the game to be tougher. The difficulty levels on the content. Sure, you're running the same zone and things like that, but we're MMO players here. Like we play the same content over and over and over again. I love that I can start to scale that up. They've got like obviously the Halloween events running on right now, and I was just running out of the world and ran into a random pumpkin and just had to kill it, and it was great, and it was so much fun. The adult in me is very appreciative of the design, and I love that the classes coming from PSO to PSO2, PS Universe, Phantasy Star Universe, really never felt right. It felt just, it had the look, it had stuff that I would recognize, it had the names of the items, like Monomate, and like I'm like, okay, I get it, I get what it's doing, but it never felt like it felt with Phantasy Star Online. Phantasy Star Online 2 feels like Phantasy Star, like it feels like that right evolution. The combat's fast, it has varied complexity with that. So I love how it works with the controller, and it just feels great. I love that jump and the accept button are not the same button in Final Fantasy XV. That was so annoying. I heard that on a computer was much better because you had more keys. But anyway, jumping in 15 was just annoying because I'm trying to talk to this guy. Stop jumping. Anyway, but while I sit back and enjoy right now currently playing a hunter, playing a Newman female, that's kind of the kid in me. Like as I was selecting and creating my character, I was just kind of looking at everything, and then all the females, they have the jiggly boob physics that I was like, the kid in me is laughing at this, and the adult in me is like, all right. I'm not gonna pick it apart. I'm not gonna complain about it because I know there'll be somebody in the comments being like, that's just the Japanese culture, man, get over it. It's like, it doesn't bother me as a human being. As a dad with little girls, it does seem to I'm like, come on, like that's not how boobs work. But as a kid in me, I'm like, yeah, this is great. Like just cycle through this. Oh my god, boobs. So anyway, like I said, Phantasy Star Online, Frosted Mini Wheat. And so for that and all that together, this is something that I think everybody really should be excited about coming to the West this year. Hopefully, I think there's still word that it's coming to Europe in 2021. I don't know why the weird delay. I don't know why all of that has to be the way it is, but I have yet to unlock my subclass. That happens at 20. I am making really good progress for having played the game, and it feels very rewarding. It's a free-to-play game, and that's obviously something that's going to be very concerning to me as a player in the long term. Like, is there going to be some kind of wall? Like, let's say I hit level 20, or let's say I hit level 30, or at some point where it's like, man, everything comes to a crawl unless I pony up the money. Personally, as somebody who's long waited for this game, and the fact that it's free to play means that ideally they are going to get more people involved in it. Ideally, they're going to be able to bring in a lot of players, and ultimately maybe that balances itself out. I would highly suspect, because of the nature and the partnership with Microsoft and the fact that they're the ones that are helping to bring this game to the West, I would expect that there might be some bonus for having Game Pass. I think that this would be one of those games that it's like, yeah, you can play for free, but if you have Game Pass, then you get stuff within this game and this world to kind of participate in. And honestly, I think that's a system and a system seller. Game Pass in and of itself is the best deal, I think, right now that is going on in the gaming world. PlayStation Now, also incredible deal. I'm not sitting here picking sides because I think that what PlayStation Now has done recently has been a huge benefit. But back onto the topic of Phantasy Star Online. The free-to-play models always do concern me because it's like, how does that work? But I think that personally, I hear that there is going to be an optional subscription that you can kind of take part in. I think maybe that gets connected into Game Pass, like I said, or it feels like if you're having fun with the game, I definitely want to support it. I've waited this long to play it, might as well at least toss it the price of entry at some point, and that's kind of where that's gonna come into play. So what can you expect here? Well, I was about to shift into kind of like what my content schedule is for Phantasy Star Online, because I need to dive in, I need to learn this game, and I probably will start rolling out more videos on it as we learn more and as we get into 2020, as we get closer to the springtime and that content and how it's going to play out in the long run. But I think that, back to my Anthem rant, and I don't want to make this an Anthem rant video, but I said that it would be great if Anthem had the mag system from Phantasy Star, and being able to play around with the mag system in Phantasy Star Online 2 is amazing. You get your little robot buddy, and you feed it items you don't need. Well, hello, all these random drops that are completely pointless in Anthem and like some of these other looter games. Well, hello, mag system. It's such a smart system. Like, how is it that these games have figured it out? Like, sometimes I wonder, like, devs, come on, go play other games and get some really good ideas, and then you can change the idea. It could have been anything. Anyway, but I'm happy to have the mag system back. I'm happy to feed it all these different awesome drops that I don't need, want, or how to sell. And speaking of selling, you can multi-sell everything and buy. Like, the interface is a little bit confusing at first, and maybe I don't know if it's going to change at all for the West, so I don't know if it makes sense to kind of dive in. But as I learn the game, there's definitely areas in which that I'm like, oh man, this is actually pretty smart. At first I was like, what am I doing? And now I'm like, I get it. It makes sense. This is totally worth the price of entry, which was nothing in this case. But as far as it goes, the game is offering a lot, and I'm really excited because I'm going to unlock the subclass system. I'm going to play around with that. I'm going to make some other characters, and I'm going to play around with the other classes. And I think that among itself is one of the most exciting things about it, especially because there are some hidden classes that you can unlock later as well. And it's all just feels like, I keep playing the game right now. Again, I'm early into it. This is the first impressions piece of the whole thing. And I just go, man, how awesome would it be? How epic would it be if Yoshi P decided that he wanted to make another MMORPG and it was an action, like, how awesome would it be to see Final Fantasy kind of take on this style of game, this online RPG action set in a Final Fantasy world. I don't care if they named it like Final Fantasy 16 or 17 or 18. It wouldn't have to have a numbered after it, but if they decided to make some kind of Final Fantasy Online or Final Fantasy Universe rendition of this with this kind of system, Diablo-esque looter RPG online, what, if you want to break the game, we're going to let you, like, you can go all power, just crushing it kind of game. I wonder what that would look like. And then I would be torn, like if it was competing against that of the Phantasy Star Online universe. And that's what we'll have to wait and see. The craziest thing about all of this is Phantasy Star Online 2 has the Odin fight. Like, Phantasy Star Online 2 and Final Fantasy XIV had a crossover event where PSO2 got Odin. We didn't get anything because the game wasn't, quote-unquote, a global game. It was only Japanese only, much like Dragon Quest X still is. And I hope now that maybe that we'll see, as it grows out to be a global game, that Final Fantasy XIV would actually get some PSO love as well, because that would be pretty cool. Honestly, I think that would be really cool, whether it was a piece of gear or just something special that can kind of play around into that universe and that world. And that's just kind of where I'm going to leave it right now. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below, because I really am interested in what you guys think about this game. There's a lot of hope that was easily lost for Phantasy Star Online 2, and that hope's been restored. And I hope to see that it's not just an Xbox PC thing that comes out in the spring, that it gets to evolve to the PlayStation now that they're fully supporting crossplay, and it gets to evolve to the Switch, either some kind of online cloud. With all of that technology coming out down the road, it's really going to be fascinating to see over the next 10 years as games developed. But I stand by what I said. I think 2019 has been a very frustrating year. And Phantasy Star Online 2 makes me feel conflicted because I'm so overjoyed by the game itself, and at the same time I'm so frustrated by everything that's kind of seemed to happen in 2019. And I think that's why some of these classic games have been so appealing, and I think that's why there's just, I don't know, there's plenty of things to be mad about, and this isn't one of them. Anyway, thanks guys for watching this video. I hope you have an incredible day. I'll talk to you next time. Take care.